Juliana kidnapped and starved. Plus, Maria pops up again. You'll never guess with who. And we're covering Emily's postpartum issues, plus a lot more. Stay tuned for 90 Day Fiancé News Weekly.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Boom, there it is. Hello, 90 Day Fiancé fans. Welcome to the show that covers all of the week's top 90 Day Fiancé news headlines. You guys have all joined us live from the UK, from Norway, from all around the world, and thank you so much for doing that. Welcome. My name is Christy, and we do have that live chat rolling. Make sure you're giving us a little thumbs up and offering your thoughts and comments on all of these crazy news stories we are about to deliver. You guys are like our third host. And of course, my second in command is the host of all the AfterBuzz TV 90 Day Fiancé after shows. Please welcome Linda Antwi.
Hi, guys.
How you doing today, girl?
And you know what? I'm much better. Thank you for asking. I had that flu bug for a couple of weeks, and I'm now starting to feel back to myself, back in the drama. I love it.
We do love the drama, and there is a lot of it today. So glad that you guys have joined us all live. If you're catching us a little bit later on Apple Podcasts or YouTube, please join us live on YouTube on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific. We have a great time here. You guys are already, hey, Sarah, Nakia, Jules, Bren, everybody hanging out, giving us their thoughts already on these crazy news stories. I cannot wait to hear your reaction to our top story today, because what we saw on this latest episode of 90 Day Fiancé was Michael finally picking Juliana up from the airport, her coming to the United States, and it was quite a display by Michael, of course. Stretch Hummer, popping champagne, he's giving her that customized beautiful necklace.
$4,000 necklace.
Yeah, and you know, I think rightfully so, a lot of people were, that raised some eyebrows. Well, Michael made it very clear that Juliana deserves the red carpet to be rolled out for her. And here's why. Her very tragic childhood past came to light this week by Michael. Here's a great picture of Juliana as a kid. Would you believe that she was forced into child labor to working in sweatshops at only 8 years old? My gosh, this is a tragic story that was originally posted by a modeling vlog who was talking about how inspiring Juliana is. And then Michael reshared that and said, you know, there's a lot that people don't know about Juliana yet. This is in addition to the blogger also telling Juliana's story that she was forced by her modeling agency to go to China, though she didn't speak a word of the language or of English, so very hard for her to communicate. And while there, it sounds like she was kidnapped by her modeling agency, forced to lose weight. And then she worked up to 3 modeling jobs a day for like a month and did not receive 1 penny from that work. So she was kidnapped, starved, taken advantage of, and eventually, of course, rescued by her Prince Charming Michael. But this harrowing past of Juliana's comes as a huge surprise. Another surprise is who is backing her up in the light of all of this coming out. So not only did Michael post that in support of her, but his ex-wife, the mom of his kids, said Juliana is the best stepmom that she could have asked for her kids, and that Juliana overcame this incredibly tough life, and that she's had an extremely successful career. And this is really just Sarah giving Juliana major props, not just for her being a great stepmom, but for going through what she has and kind of coming out on the other side. Is this not one of the most incredible stories we've heard from this cast?
It's absolutely a tragic story. And when she said, even when you watch this latest episode, that she's 23 and she's been through so much in her life.
Yeah.
And you could tell that she was very grateful to, quote unquote, start a new life in the U.S. and all the opportunities that might hold for her. So, yeah, I think that, you know, whether it's love or not, I think that he represents a new life for her, and that's what she's holding on to. So when she talks about, I hope that it works out, I genuinely believe that for her. I think she wants it to work out so that she can have a better life.
Yeah, and she's now reportedly supporting her family back home through her modeling work. We know from last week that she's taken a little break from her modeling, but you know, I particularly was a little hard on her last week for saying that her modeling career was currently on hold because she's gotten fat. And of course, now we know that that's something that's been put in her head by her modeling agencies.
For years.
Yes, and just how incredibly terrifying that must be to have your livelihood really, and when you're supporting your family based on someone telling you that you're fat. It's just it's unbelievable.
It really, really is. And I wish them the best. I hope that this is like a true love story, because the whole story in and of itself is incredible. And to gone through everything that she's gone through at such an early age, I hope it does turn around for her to be, that's the success story, the happily ever after. So
the ex-wife backing up their love story makes me have a lot more confidence in it.
Well, I mean, she married them.
Yeah.
So she definitely, is on her team. So we'll see.
Nakia in the chat said Juliana probably has some psychological damage from all of that, and Nakia is rooting for her. Sarah said, what a pretty woman. She's strong, yes, but I think she has daddy issues. Haven't heard a lot about that, but you may be right. And Kimberly said, I can't watch her with the same enjoyment now. Well, I think the good news here is that, like you said, she's embarked on a new journey now, and I think she will be just fine from here on out.
I think so too. Speaking of just fine, guys, when I saw this on Instagram, I laughed and laughed and laughed. I coughed a little bit because I was still sick, but I laughed myself to tears. So Jessie, our favorite Jessie, was able to hang out with Maria in Spain and posted all over social media how they were hanging out. Now, what I think is hilarious about this is that Caesar has spent years and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and we could only get screenshots of her and maybe a text from her, and lo and behold, go to Spain and there she is with Jessie. But you know what's interesting, Christy, is that when she talked about on the when we were first introduced to her on the tell-all, she talked about what her type was. Do you remember that? 6 feet, blonde hair, blue eyes. I mean, I don't know who you're describing, but that sounds a lot like someone I see right here in the photo.
I didn't think of that.
And so people online are talking crazy about it because they're both saying that they're extending their 15 minutes of fame, but they're also saying that they're both Euro. They both have similar interests and have a similar type. So wouldn't it be funny if they were the next new couple?
It certainly would. I think he's still going strong with that fashion blogger, Hofit Galan, is what it looks like online, because he's just been commenting on her photo, on her like butt pictures and stuff. But we don't have any for sure confirmation of that.
Not at all. And I think that he's, what is the saying? Sowing his oats, or like playing the field and seeing, what's going to make him more of a 15-minute star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And speaking of Jessie, I just have to comment on a few things. So
this was a wild trip for Jessie.
Yes. Besides hanging out in Spain, he got robbed and complained that Barcelona was a not safe city, and he really wanted feedback from his fans on if they've had a similar experience.
And how to get his watches back.
And he's offering $10,000 for his watches. No questions asked, and he's sending like a specific DM for you to go to and say, yeah, I have your watch and here it is. He thinks that the people will only get a couple of thousand for it, but it has sentimental value to him. And then he goes on to do this photo shoot in his hotel room, and he's like contemplating, like if you guys are watching, like he's like this, like contemplating, his head's down, and he's contemplating the loss of his credit cards. He's like, I went to get my credit cards and basically realized they were not there. End scene. So super dramatic. I mean, okay, Jessie, like, okay. Between the acting and like the boxing or match or whatever he's doing,
right? Trying to fight Jake Logan,
the Barcelona stuff, and guys, guess what? He has a calendar coming out January 2020. He's only charging $40.11. So if you want a whole year's calendar worth of Jessie pictures, he's selling them on his Insta.
What? Part of me wants to say, what is wrong with this guy and why does he think he's so great? And part of me thinks if everybody in the world had this much confidence, that the world would be a better place. I don't even know. At this point, it's getting beyond ridiculous. But the fact that he keeps doing it almost is making me fall for it. Like, it's like, is this guy making himself into a real international superstar? Like, is it happening?
He basically is. Wow. He's very enterprising. And he knows how to keep himself, relevant. Whether you like his personality or not, he's out there.
The chat roll, Jules has weighed in and said, yeah, that's true about Barcelona, that she lived there. Kimberly said he is a special brand of cray-cray, and none of us feel bad for him.
Jules, I wouldn't buy it for $20.20.
I would just like to know if that thief got those watches to a pawn shop and realized that they were about as fake as anything Jesse could buy.
Right. But then he's offering $10,000 for it.
It's all appearances.
Man, listen.
Why'd you leave your backpack sitting at the Starbucks, Jesse? That's a better question. It indeed is, but we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about something pretty serious. We all watched Emily's horrifying childbirth in Russia on this episode of the show. There's no judgment there. I think all baby birthings seem pretty awful.
Christy.
I mean, just like terrifying in every way, shape, and form. We didn't, need the added stress of her being in Russia, not being able to communicate. It was rough, but you guys, things didn't get any easier for Emily and Sasha once they took the baby home. Baby Davidka, I hope I'm saying that correctly. So Emily revealed on Insta Stories just a couple days ago that she had what she calls a bad case of the baby blues. So that's a phrase that Americans usually use when they're referring to postpartum depression. I don't blame her for maybe not wanting to use that word precisely, but we all know what the baby blues are. And for her to say that she had them bad kind of tells you where she was at this time. Remember, she's still in Russia alone without her family, but with Sasha and his family, who she said took great care of her at that time, and that she's feeling better now. But that wasn't the only thing that Emily spilled on. She also talked about Sasha's seeing his other two sons. So we know that in addition to Davidka, he has a son with each of his ex-wives, one ex-wife who we saw on the show and one of the sons we saw on the show. Emily said, I wish that people would understand that custody in Volgograd works a lot differently than it does here in the U.S. And that Sasha sees his older son whenever they go to where he lives, and that they have a great relationship, that the two talk on the phone all of the time, and that Sasha was currently helping his older son with an English project. It sounds like they're quite close. However, when it comes to the other son, this would be like the middle son from ex-wife number 2, Sasha only is allowed to see him when Emily isn't around. She made kind of a mysterious phrase about only when I'm in the hospital or away, and people asked her to clarify for that. And she responded back and said he only is allowed to see the baby when I'm not around, which Emily said, I guess that's her right as a mom. I'm not a mom, so I really need the chat roll to weigh on this. Is this wife number 2's right to withhold her son from his father because she doesn't care for his new wife or doesn't want the baby around his baby mama, I guess we should call her?
I don't know either because I'm not a mom yet either. But I will say this. I think that it's important for both parents to be involved in raising the child. And if you can try to co-parent and keep your feelings separate and apart from raising the kid, then I think that would be helpful. But again, I'm not in that situation. I'm not a mom, so I don't know.
No, but I mean, overall, great to hear that she's feeling better after suffering from some baby blues. And that actually all went down, I believe it's almost a year ago now. Their son is over 10 months old.
And adorable. And
super adorable. So, but it looks like nothing has changed from what we've seen on the show as far as ex-wife number 2. There is the latest on that. And
guys, so trauma to your lips.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I asked the chat roll for their input on that and then did not turn to them. So let's take just a quick minute to see what they have to say. And Nakia said, I guess you got to keep your kids around people you know and trust. She said, but I don't know about all of that. And Edith said, we don't know if he's a horrible dad and she wants to keep him away. May said, no, there are two sides to every story. And there's a couple other folks in the chat roll who aren't moms either. Kimberly said, spiteful women can do a lot. Be careful the type of women that you have children with. Probably good advice. So thanks, guys, for weighing in on that one.
Yes. And speaking of weighing in, guys, did you see Devon and her lip saga gate? It was awful. So Devon went to get fillers in Korea, and she said that they didn't explain anything to her. She looked at one picture for a second, and then they injected her lip with a botched product. Apparently, this botched product had not been tested, and she felt like right away that her lips were like on fire and she was like dying in her lips. Her face was bruised. It was like a huge, big deal. And it's a big deal because, as you know, Devon does a lot of modeling, like as a career.
Yeah.
So, you know, her face is her job. And so she kind of freaked out and she went on her live feed and explained what was going on. And it was pretty brutal. And if you guys are looking and watching and seeing the bruised lips, they are really, really not only bruised, but swollen. But guess what? What, you ask? Larissa came to the rescue, a fellow 90-dayer, and basically said, hey, I can help you. You know that we already know that Larissa has gotten a lot of work done. So she recommended that she goes to Heather Rohrer, if I'm saying that right, of the Center of Aesthetic Medicine in Sin City, who basically does a lot of the stars' fillers, and go there and get it done. And because we know that Devon and Jihoon are back in the U.S. right now, she went from Utah to Las Vegas to get it done. So if you look up on the screen, you'll see that it says, if we can go back to that last slide, you flew all the way from Korea to Las Vegas to fix your lip. If your lip was necrotic, wouldn't you need immediate attention? And she says, I'm in the States for Thanksgiving. My doctor in Korea kept saying it was normal, but it was so painful, I reached out for help. So
I was wondering that too, you know, like what happened at the time.
Yeah. I mean.
So she did go to the doctor.
She did go to the doctor and she did get it corrected. And I thought that the timing was interesting too. Like he just happened to be coming back to the U.S., and able to get this corrected in Las Vegas. So it's a lot. But guys, I wanted you guys to know that apparently this lady who does like all these injections and Botox and all of that stuff in Vegas, she's worked on Larissa. Now we obviously know that she's worked on Devon. She's worked on Farrah Abram from Teen Mom, Jen Harley from Jersey Shore, and from there's another girl, Ronnie Ortez's baby mama. I don't know her name.
Isn't that Jen?
Heather? No. I'll figure it out. But
I'm not brushed up on my Jersey Shore, but I thought Jen was Ronnie's baby mama.
But lo and behold, guys, I mean, all these 90-day and other reality stars are getting some tune-ups. Is that the right word to use? Tune-ups? So look at the befores and look at the afters, and it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's a really, really huge difference.
It's major, and it is possible that once her symptoms kind of went down a little bit, that she was just hanging out in Korea for quite a while with kind of maybe like bumpy, odd-looking lips, you know, that the timing did work out, but we don't really know. She never mentioned when exactly this happened. She was kind of careful about that. And I'm wondering if it's because we're going to see it on the new season of Happily Ever After.
I wouldn't put anything past it. I really wouldn't.
And if this trip to America is really a move back to America.
I think it's a move back. Mm-hmm. Guys, would you get fillers? Would you get your lips plumped up? I have little lips, but I don't know if I would be able to do it. Chime in the live chat. I would love to know.
It looks so scary when they do it.
I just don't like needles. So
you know? No judgment here, but I'm sure all of you out there are just beautiful the way that you are.
Yes.
As is Miss Darcy Silva. This is kind of piggybacking off the same topic here. Darcy is right now, as we speak, she is on a plane to Turkey. Here she is, just getting on the plane a couple of hours ago, and she is going there to Seville Smile Studio. So this is kind of an internationally known place. She kept saying we, so it sounds like Stacey is along with her. And of course, if they're doing anything to their looks, the twins have to be twinning. So Darcy and Stacey headed to Turkey. all she keeps doing is shouting out this smile studio, hasn't said specifically what she's having done. Her teeth look perfect to me. So stay tuned on whether we will actually be able to see any difference. However, Darcy's been getting a lot of flack lately online from people who say that she's overdoing it with fillers and surgeries. Her and Stacey, let me get that. Her and Stacey were pimping out another place a few weeks ago, another plastic surgery place. I think they always look great, and of course it's up to her what she wants to do with her body, but another procedure happening just in the next couple of days. What do you think about that, Linda?
You know, I've met Darcy quite a few times, and I have to tell you, she does have perfect teeth.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, what more can be done, but I mean, who knows? Maybe it's a sponsored trip. Maybe she's like their spokesperson.
It's clearly a sponsored trip.
You know, who knows what she's doing? But you know what, Darcy? Do you, girl? Do you? Whatever makes you happy, and you and your sister want to do whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. I am not mad at it. As far as the whole Turkey trip, I'll be interested to see if they document that journey as well.
Do you think maybe they're getting something else done, and this is a ruse?
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. It's a lot of heavy promoting.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something on the back end of all of this.
Besides a big fat paycheck.
Right?
For a hardworking mom named Darcy Silva.
Oh, Darcy.
Well, hey, what's going on with Stacey?
Speaking of Darcy and Stacey, so are Stacey and Florian back together? Question mark. So, you guys, we know that a few months ago, they had a very public breakup that was really ugly. Talked a lot of crazy stuff about each other online and deleted each other, unfollowed each other, all of that stuff. And turns out, Stacey posts on her Instagram, and I actually can't read that from here. So if you
this is the original post from when she was accusing him of cheating with the girl in Canada. So this was like early September. However,
us Canadians. If we flip to the next one, here we are, and look at who it is: Florian and Stacey, and basically saying like. He's saying, that's my future wife.
Yeah.
And she's saying,
my love, with a little heart emoji. This was posted just a couple days ago.
So, together, not together? I don't know. Are you that forgiving? If your significant other was found cheating, but then, you know, you were engaged to that person for many, many years, and maybe that person's the love of your life, do you forgive them?
I think she has an ultimate goal of being a reality TV star, which is fine. I mean, I have no problems with that. That's a good goal. Go for it. You'll probably achieve it. And I think she can do that with Florian. We've already seen their story a little bit. So the network clearly has already shown interest in them. So for this to pop up a couple days ago is her essentially saying we're back together. She deleted it, but his profile, which is private, still has the photo. He posted the same one where he's calling her, I love you, my future wife. So clearly 100% back on. I think it may be spurred on by the hopes of being a reality TV star. But again, I just want all three of them. I guess we never know who Darcy's dating. She apparently has a new man now in Australia. These two and Darcy and the whole fam need a spinoff now, right away. I want to know what's going on with them. I want to have seen them get back. Maybe they have been filming this whole thing.
Are you now just getting what I'm putting down? Yes, girl, yes. This is not a coincidence that she is back together and that they're going abroad.
Linda taking us the long way around today.
Listen, let's just call it what it is. I think that there's, like I said, there's a back end to this, and I think that this is going to be some type of something. Whether it's a spin-off show, a whole new show, you are going to see, mark my words, Darcy and Stacey and their significant others dealing with life and dealing with getting to the altar. Facts.
Amy in the live chat set this scene for us. Darcy saying, I'm the queen of turbulent relationships. Stacey's response, hold my beer. Here I come, guys.
I love it.
Liza Jane said, for their age, they are sexy and beautiful. If I could afford it, I would. Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, girl.
I can second that.
Speaking of second that, let's talk a little bit about Paula and Russ.
The OGs.
The OGs, and you know what? I love this couple. I just have a soft spot for them. But Paula faced some backlash over her dad shaming remarks about Russ. Basically, she took to her Instagram, as you can see here, and it says, "I love how my husband pretends to have a lot of things to do in the house when he has to take care of his son. Thank God I'm always there." And this is not the first time that she's kind of publicly shamed him.
Yeah.
Do you remember the beer while she was away and carrying the baby thing?
Oh, yeah.
That was another thing, too. And the fans weren't having it. Looks like people weren't feeling it, and they had some backlash. So apparently her dad shaming comments about Russ drew a lot of criticism. A lot of the fans were saying, I think that you shouldn't publicly blast your husband. I think that if you have some issues with your husband, you guys should have a private conversation with each other and deal with it in-house and not put everything on blast. However, I liked your theory. I think that this can drum up some contention because we all know that they are now filming for Pillow Talk. So, keeping them relevant? Question mark.
Yeah, because she posted that on like Saturday. They made their Pillow Talk debut on Sunday. So this was 100% to get people talking. And so that the narrative maybe when they pop up on Pillow Talk is, oh my gosh, they have drama. We want to see them on more episodes of the show. This was probably a calculated, and obviously it's working for them because they keep popping up on seasons of the show, a calculated thing to get fans to say, we want to see more of Pao and Russ.
I think that... I love this couple. I would love to see more of her fitness, mommy journey, more than anything else. I think that she's good at that. I did see recently that there was a challenge going on, and I can't remember the name of it, but it looks like a dance challenge, and she posted her response to it. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty sexy video. Go ahead, handle it. And she was wearing all white, and she's doing this like
almost a hula dance.
Like a hula dance almost. Yeah. Handle it.
She's got some moves.
Handle your business.
Let us know in the chat roll what you think about Pao's moves. Angel said, I'd rather have more Lauren and Alexi on Pillow Talk. Oh, that's interesting. Bren points out, didn't they seem angry towards each other on Pillow Talk? Interesting. All right, well, it sounds like whatever's going on with them, you guys want to know a little bit more about it.
Right.
And another former cast member who I'd like to know what the hell is going on with her marriage is Anfisa, who we see right here. She had a post just a couple days ago on Instagram where she basically said, hey, this is me being conceited and deal with it. Well, of course, she's going to get some responses to that. A fan pointed out to her after this post, she's in a bikini, of course, as she often is. And a fan said to her, I'm not trying to be rude, just honest. You're wasting away to nothing and you're starting to look unhealthy. The human body needs a percentage of body fat to be healthy. So Anfisa, actually, you guys, get ready for this, agreed with this, I was going to say troll, but that's not very nice, agreed with this constructively criticizing fan. And she said, absolutely true, but that percentage doesn't have to be extremely high. Having a healthy amount of fat doesn't equal being overweight. I have enough fat for all parts of my body, obviously, to function properly. Don't worry about it. Anfisa said to the fan. That's a pretty good clap back. She doesn't get too mean and nasty, and she knows her stuff. She studied nutrition, and obviously no one's going to come at her with something like this and, not get told.
Listen, she obviously knows what she's doing. She won a bunch of competitions this year. She's on her fitness game. She's on her health game. She knows her body, so everyone needs to just settle all the way down. She's allowed to have a proud moment like, hey, look what I've accomplished.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever tried to lose weight, guys, and get fit, it's not easy. So can you imagine getting so lean and training for a fitness competition? It's not easy. So they deserve respect because it's a hard thing to do, and it's serious dedication. So if that's the lifestyle that you want to lead, and that's the lifestyle that she's leading, I think it's a healthy thing, and I think that it encourages fitness on whatever level, whatever level you want to be on.
Yeah, and I don't know where this healthy amount of body fat is on her body, but it's clearly in the right places because she always looks fantastic. She's always posting what she's eating. Yep. So I'm not worried about Anfisa. Little concerned, though, about barbershop Mike. Okay, we're going a little way back here to last summer to the last season of Happily Ever After, where we saw Ashley and Jay, all the cheating drama, and of course, his two former buddies from the barbershop who let Ashley know what was going on. Okay, maybe Mike shouldn't have been throwing stones from his glass house because Mike was arrested over the weekend at the barbershop for stealing a 9mm pistol from a customer. So, while Jay's banging strippers in the bathroom, this guy apparently just trying to get a little heat in his pocket. You'll see that the police arrived at the barbershop on Saturday, pulled some security footage and realized it was Mike who was the thief. He was arrested and taken to Cumberland County Prison. Okay, his charges here include possession of the firearm, receiving stolen property, and also for just possessing this firearm. So that means that Mike, it's incredibly likely that Mike has gotten in some kind of legal trouble in the past that prohibits him from having possession of a firearm in any way, shape, or form.
That means he's a felon, and felons are not allowed to have any type of weapons on them ever. And if we can blow that up, because I really read this one and I was like, oh, wow, so we don't really know your backstory. So in the blue, in the far corner, the third charge explains that he's basically like a felon who's not supposed to be in possession of a firearm.
Not to possess firearms.
Felons. That's it. I mean, that's it.
Well, I thought so. I just wasn't sure if we could say that, but we're saying it. She's saying it. She said it.
I said it because I know it to be true. I watch enough true crime. I have undergrad in criminology, and I know that if you are a felon, you are not allowed to possess a firearm. The end.
You are one of the wisest people I know, Linda.
Thank you.
So Wonk, one of the most hilarious live chatters we have, said he's getting ready for Love After Lockup.
Facts.
Oh, Mike, maybe, keep your eye on yourself there next time, Barbershop Mike. Let's talk a little bit about another marriage besides Jay and Ashley's that may be on the rocks. Olga and Steven, who we saw on the season 6 of 90 Day Fiancé. You guys may remember. This was airing about a year ago. Remember, he went to Russia for the birth of their baby, and then he had to come back to America. He hadn't even started the visa process yet. Well, we know that the whole family is now settled here in the U.S. They came over in April and got married in August. But when Olga posted this photo on Instagram yesterday, some of the fans noticed she wasn't wearing her wedding ring and asked her about it, which she responded to very curiously. Olga said, "It's too complicated." So this is the exact exchange. Fans said, "Why are you without a ring?" And Olga said, "Too complicated." So is she saying here, I mean, the blogs and fans went nuts. They think she's saying that the relationship with Steven is too complicated to explain here. However, I think, she's still kind of learning her English, and the word complicated really can just mean, like in its actual definition, just like intricate or involving a lot of parts. And I think what she might be saying here is that the ring, maybe it snags on stuff, maybe it's too big or pointy or uncomfortable, or just it's too valuable and she doesn't want to risk it, that it's just too much for her to wear the ring all the time. Linda, cannot wait to hear what you think about this.
I agree with you 100%. I think that this couple is doing fine. I think that it may be a language thing. It may be something that she just doesn't feel like she needs to explain. It may be that maybe the ring's getting resized. Maybe she lost the ring. Maybe it fell down the toilet. Like, who knows? There's a bunch of possibilities, but I don't think it means that their relationship is in trouble.
No.
I think it's more like a, you know what? I'm a busy mom. I'm raising my kid, and maybe today I forgot to put the ring on. I don't know, but I don't see a problem.
Leave Olga and Steven alone. Let's talk a little bit about a couple that is definitely donezo, but still friends.
Oh my gosh. Larissa and Erik have made up, and Erik took to his Instagram to basically publicly apologize to Larissa and to say that they are happily friends again. And okay.
I know. Where do we even begin with this?
I don't even know where to begin. So I'm going to say this. He says, quote, "I'm posting to let everyone know that Larissa and I have managed to work things out and remain as friends. We've apologized to one another for the action we've taken towards one another in the public eye about our friends, family, and fans." He goes on to say, "As of now, we've cleared the air, and I want to specifically apologize for meeting with Colt and Debbie and posting photos." He called the move a low blow and kid-like behavior on his part, and he admitted he knew that meeting with Debbie and Colt would outrage Larissa. He goes on to say, "I can't exactly say what I was thinking in the moment about being invited over to Debbie and Colt, but it has led me to writing this. I have no hard feelings toward people who have said the things that they have said to me or about me. That's the story of my life. This has been a true learning experience, and I've learned that in the event of such situations to make decisions, I'll rethink my actions before taking them into effect the way I know what sort of impact it will make on those around me." Okay, so here's the thing.
What's the thing?
I have been all across social media all day today, and Larissa is posting nonstop.
Yep.
About
link in bio.
About these two. Nonstop, kissy face, huggy face, and same with Erik. And I get that you're friends again, but to me, this is clickbait.
Yes.
Because to me, you're trying to say without saying that you guys are actually back together. And guys, if you remember how disgusting this exchange was between the two of them, after the messy breakup with Colt, we had another messy breakup with Erik. And I mean, I don't know, are we extending Erik's 15 minutes? I don't know.
Yeah, like, did he come to her and say, listen, you're getting paid per click on this. Let's give them a real story. Let's fabricate this. Let's take control of it. But why would she do that? Why would she kind of dull her shine to bring him back into the spotlight?
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Do we think this is maybe happily ever after casting motivated as well? It has to have something to do with trying to get on the show.
Right. And I personally would hate to have them on Happily Ever After. I think Larissa is great on her own.
Yep.
Girl, go do you. But I think Erik, I'm not for him at all. So
she needs to be sexy single.
Yeah, if it's a ploy, so be it. But I'm not here for it.
Well, she recently talked to about moving out of Las Vegas. So maybe she'll go somewhere else and find another new man. On that note, let's take a look at one of these relationships and see if we think it is going to last. All right, we have just a few minutes left. Chat roll, we're going to need your help on this one. Luna says Erik and Larissa are money hungry. Brent said, I don't believe he didn't know who Larissa was when they met. I'm sure you're right about that. Angel said, look at him in that photo. She's looking at him and he is looking at the camera.
Facts.
So that's what you guys have to say about that relationship. What about Stacey and Florian? All right, we gave you all the facts just a little while ago, the cheating scandal, the reunion, but now we're going to ask, do we ship it? As in, are we shipping these two out of here? They're headed for Splitsville, or are they shipped in a relationship for life? All right, Stacey and Florian, Linda, go.
This is a hard one for me because we don't know enough about the relationship for me to make an accurate prediction. But I'll say this. If they were together for like 3 years, engaged, that's a long engagement.
Yeah.
To not actually make it down the aisle. So that gives me pause. Then he recently cheated and you broke up publicly and it was nasty. That also gives me pause. And now you say without saying that you're back together and you might be back together and we're going off to Europe and we know that Florian is there. I'm going to say I'm shipping them out. I don't buy this relationship for the simple fact that I just don't know enough about it. And I think that there's too many what. Like, What's that saying? Things that make you go, Yeah, I'm not for it. I'm shipping them out.
Well, the chat roll is on board with you. I want to point out, though, I think they really did have a good rapport when we saw them on the show. They seem to really be in love. They seem to have kind of a fun, lighthearted relationship.
Yeah, but why not get married then?
I think it's a money thing. I think they're waiting for the show to pay for it. It costs a lot of money to get that 90-day visa.
3 years?
Well, she hasn't gone over to visit except for when we know it's been paid for the show as well. And there was, remember that rant that Darcy went on a few months ago about how Stacey had asked her and the rest of the family to pay for Florian's visa and they wouldn't do it or to sponsor him. So I think they're not being together right now is purely a money thing. I think they're going to stick it out to get cast on the show. That's going to happen. And then their relationship, just like every other 90 days, is going to kind of depend on if they're getting cast for a new season or not. I think these two are probably both looking for the mutual benefit a little bit, but they probably also like each other. He's really hot. It probably just works for them, and I don't really see any reason why, if they get cast on the show, it can't continue to work for them. I'm shipping them.
Okay, the chat roll is crazy fire. So, Jules, you're hilarious. Okay, so we have differing opinions. We'll wait to see. I do think that they're going to get some type of spinoff, though, for sure.
Luna said, Darcy and Stacey just want to get married. It doesn't matter who they marry. I mean, I think you might be a little bit right about that one. Ship it, Amy says. Stacey says Stacey's boyfriend is still cheating. She thinks. Oh. And Vicky reminds us the show wasn't focusing on Stacey and Florian. That's true. So maybe we just didn't see any kind of discord that may be between them. Geraldine points out they were just rubbing their engagement in Darcy's face. So I don't know if they're really that in love. Wow, a very glasses half empty kind of outlook on this one. Although I can't say I totally blame you guys. But always fun to get to hear your thoughts on this. And also, if you want to hear the AfterBuzz panel's thoughts on the latest episode of the show, they should stick around. Right, Linda?
Guys, stick around. We have all things 90 Days. Episode 3 coming to you later today right here on AfterBuzz TV. It's going to be so good.
Yes. And we love that you guys have come from all around the world to hang out with us live. If you didn't catch us this time, please do that on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. on AfterBuzz Reality TV. And Linda, if they want to hit you up with their thoughts during the week as they're watching the show and such, where can they do that at?
Guys, all across social media, Linda is so girly. Hit me up. I love hearing from you guys. And New Beginnings, I got to give you a shout out. You are always sending me the tea.
Oh, I like that. You guys can always send me the tea at Christy Reports, and please also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Christy Reports. There's some good, juicy reality TV news there, so check it out. And we will be back not next week with more 90 Day Fiancé News Weekly.
Happy Thanksgiving!
Because the studio is closed, so enjoy your Thanksgiving, and we will see you the following week. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.